Beyond the farthest edges of our solar system, where sunlight fades into darkness, a machine built by humans has been traveling alone for nearly half a century. Voyager 2, launched in 1977, was never meant to return. Its mission was simple: to explore, to observe, and to send back whatever it could from the unknown. It passed the outer planets, crossed the boundary of the heliosphere, and entered interstellar space, becoming one of humanity's most distant messengers. And while life on Earth moved forward, Voyager 2 kept listening. Then, recently, it sent something back, something no one expected. At first, the transmission looked like ordinary background noise. But hidden inside was a repeating signal, precise, rhythmic, and unnatural. Scientists assumed it was interference or a system glitch. But when they decoded it, they found a structured pattern, complex, deliberate, and clearly not originating from Earth. When they traced the signal source, the realization was chilling. Something was moving near Voyager 2. Not drifting, not orbiting, but tracking it. Voyager 2's instruments, though old, are still sensitive enough to detect tiny changes in plasma waves, magnetic fields, and cosmic radiation. In a recent dataset received through NASA's Deep Space Network, engineers found a repeating low-frequency spike occurring every 11.2 seconds. That is not random noise. It behaves like a clock. At first, they dismissed it as interference. But when older data was reanalyzed using modern AI tools, they found the same signal had appeared weeks earlier and gone unnoticed. Now the pattern was stronger. And more disturbing, it was coming from outside the spacecraft. The signal carried a unique spectral signature, an inverted hydrogen resonance. Hydrogen is the most common element in the universe, but this version appeared altered, almost like it had been deliberately modified. Some scientists called it an anomaly. Others suspected intentional design. Either way, deep space was no longer silent. Using advanced tracking methods, scientists determined that the signal source was not stationary. It was moving alongside Voyager 2, following a similar path. But it did not obey known physics. It sped up and slowed down in short bursts, ignoring gravitational rules. Every simulation failed to explain its motion. It was not drifting, it was adjusting its path, reacting to Voyager's faint signals. Even more unsettling, it was not sending signals directly to Earth. Instead, it was reflecting Voyager's transmissions, modifying them, and sending them back into space. Like an echo, but one that changed the original message. As researchers studied the transmission further, they discovered binary segments that did not belong to Voyager systems. When visualized, these segments formed shapes, spirals, fractals, and geometric patterns. Strangely, these shapes resembled ancient symbols found in human history, from early Mesopotamian markings to large-scale ground patterns like the Nazca lines. This raised a powerful idea. The signal was not just data, it was visual information encoded into electromagnetic waves. It looked like a test, a way to see if humanity had become advanced enough to recognize the message hidden within complexity. And now, it seemed, we had passed that test. Then things became even more intense. A physicist used advanced AI to analyze the signal structure. Instead of just decoding it, the AI began predicting it, anticipating what the signal would do next. That should have been impossible unless the signal was recursive, looping back on itself like a puzzle waiting to be solved. At the same time, Voyager 1, billions of miles away, detected a similar magnetic disturbance. Two separate spacecraft, two related anomalies. This no longer looked like coincidence. It looked coordinated. Then, suddenly, Voyager 2 went silent. At first, engineers assumed a system failure. But at the exact same moment, deep space network stations across the world, in California, Spain, and Australia, all lost contact simultaneously. The probability of that happening by chance was nearly zero. Something had cut the signal deliberately. 5 minutes later, a powerful radio burst reached Earth from the same direction. It was as strong as signals from distant neutron stars, but it did not come from one. It came from somewhere near Voyager 2, and it was moving closer. Leaked data from Jet Propulsion Laboratory revealed that an unknown object had changed its course in response to signals sent from Earth. Every time scientists tried to contact Voyager 2, the object adjusted its path slightly, as if it was learning how we communicate. Analysts gave it a name, Echolite. It was no longer just following Voyager. It was heading toward our solar system. As it approached the boundary of the heliosphere, something unprecedented happened. The solar wind, normally a steady stream of particles, suddenly weakened along a narrow path. Data from missions like IBEX showed a temporary corridor where solar particles disappeared completely.
Nora Vyashchin.
No movement. Just silence. It was as if something had opened a doorway in space. Then Voyager 2 came back online, but the signal had changed. It was encrypted, which should not be possible for a spacecraft built in the 1970s. When scientists decoded it, they found something deeply unsettling. The data contained a modified version of the Voyager Golden Record, the message humanity sent into space decades ago. But now it was altered. Voices were reversed. Music was distorted. Star maps no longer pointed to Earth. It was as if the message had been rewritten to say something entirely different. Not "we are here," but "we are listening." Further analysis revealed something even more disturbing. Voyager's internal code had been changed. Not damaged, rewritten. New instructions had appeared. Instructions the spacecraft was never designed to process. And those instructions directed it to transmit signals, not back to Earth, but deeper into space. Voyager 2 was no longer just receiving signals. It was responding. Soon after, observatories around the world were quietly redirected to monitor deep space in the direction of Voyager's transmissions. At the same time, a classified protocol known as Wake Protocol was reportedly activated, a system designed for potential first contact scenarios. Then came another anomaly. For exactly 41 minutes, multiple systems on Earth experienced a temporal echo. Data streams repeated themselves perfectly, as if time itself had looped. This event, later referred to by some scientists as Chronos bloom, suggested that whatever was interacting with Voyager might be capable of affecting spacetime itself. Days later, a signal entered Earth's atmosphere directly. It did not bounce or reflect, it arrived with precision. And instead of disappearing, it embedded itself into global systems, ocean sensors, satellites, communication networks. It stayed. Around the same time, astronomers discovered a faint object in old sky data, moving along a path similar to Voyager 2's. It had been there for decades, unnoticed. They named it Echo Zero. It followed a spiral trajectory, a pattern often seen in nature, like galaxies and shells, but also associated with mathematical constants like the Golden Ratio. Then the James Webb Space Telescope was redirected to observe the region. What it found was not a single object, but a cluster, multiple reflective masses moving together in a coordinated way. Their composition included unstable elements that should not exist anymore, yet they remained intact. At that point, the story changed completely. This was no longer about Voyager being watched. It was about Earth being studied. Soon after, cybersecurity teams found strange data packets moving through global networks. They were not harmful, but they did not belong to any known system. When analyzed, they matched the same signal pattern first detected by Voyager 2. A signal from deep space had entered Earth's digital systems. Then, something even more unsettling happened. For 18 minutes, radio telescopes across the world detected no cosmic background radiation at all. The universe went silent. When the signal returned, it was slightly different, shifted, altered. Some scientists proposed a chilling idea. What if the silence was not a failure, but a reset? Voyager 2 was sent into space as a symbol of hope, a message in a bottle drifting through the cosmos. But what if it was never lost? What if it was always expected? Because everything that followed, the signals, the code changes, the silence, points to one possibility. Something out there didn't just discover us. It was waiting. And now, it has answered. The question is no longer whether we are alone. The question is, what did we awaken, and what will it do next?